Ugh. What is up, everybody? I'm Sonny Las Vegas with my awesomeness co-host Jimmy, Old School Flips.
Old school flips.
Whew. I was having a little bit more technical difficulties with the
Some
computer that's been
technical.
giving me some issues, and I'm a little winded from running up and downstairs trying to be on time, which I was about a minute or two late. So I do apologize. One thing about me, I think I took from the military is that if you're on time, you're late, and you're only on time when you're early. And that really does bother me. But I'm here, not dwelling on the past, forgive myself, and moving forward. I don't know why, but I was really excited about this live today. Just good
Yeah,
vibes. Not all the
yeah,
good news in the world, but good
right.
vibes.
Yeah, I'm excited because I'm finally feeling better. Maybe I can get back into the to my normal routine one of these days. Between vacations and being sick and everything that's like I just haven't gotten back into my routine yet.
Well, I'm glad you healed pretty soon, like
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
swiftly from when you were on the last live, and then it was like, man, it just with the Rona, some people just get hit differently. Some people take months. Um, to get some sad news, not to be mean about it, but out of the way, two coworkers that I had passed away. One from the military. He had some issues with the Rona, to where he was out for about 3 months at the win, and then just a couple of days ago, I got some news about a reseller friend, and then yesterday got some news about one of my sergeants who was over me out in Korea passed away as well. And it's just like, man, these guys are young in my book. They're
yeah,
they're not grandpas. They probably are if they started early, but um, to me, they're still young. So it's like uh, really affected me to where it's like I've been going to the gym every day, trying to do the best that I can to be here as long as I can. And on that note, I feel really good physically. That's probably why I'm hyped up and excited. Although there's some sad news, but a lot of good things happening with the time that we have, and I'm trying to make the most of it.
yep.
With you awesomeness people, thank you all for coming in. This is Jimmy Old School Flips.
What's up?
We got Adam. We got Mikey Bags of Money. Thanks for coming in,
Mikey
Mikey.
bags of money. What's up, Mikey?
I have a feeling he probably has two windows open, maybe even three, with Carrie
He's
American
watching
Arbitrage.
all the lives, huh?
Yeah, we're
He's
in
got us
there,
on mute.
and I hope I don't jinx myself, but he might pop in here later. I asked him yesterday, and he told me that he was going to go live, and they're going to try doing it once a week. And I think that's awesome. People love Carrie. I love Carrie, and we're going to thrift soon. And when Jimmy comes down in October, I hope we get the whole crew together to include Carrie
Yes.
and Dawn and go do some yard sales, garage sales, flea market finds, and stuffs like
Stuff
that.
is like that. Yep.
What do you want to do, Jimmy, when you come back to Vegas? Because you've probably come before, but the last time you came, when you left, were you like, man, I wish I would have did this, or I wish I would have tried this food or that food? I know one place you want to try.
Yeah, I mean, number one on my list is Korean barbecue again, for sure. I want to go there. I don't know. I want to hang out again. I'm going to hang out with all my friends. I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. I don't know if there's anything like last time, like you said, I went to Vegas. That's the first time I went to Vegas. I didn't go to the Strip at all. Like I didn't step foot on the Vegas Strip, and I don't know where is the remix being held at?
I think it's going to be over there on the strip. I haven't really looked at all the information, and the more I'm hearing Katie and Vicky talk about it, the more I'm finding out about it. They are going to have kind of like a 2 day, I think a 2 day. Um, I know it's very organized, but they have it to where they could do like a costume event, and then we're going to meet up at Fremont, and I think that's the competition. I think it might be cash prizes.
Ew.
So I have an idea of what I want to do as a costume. It has to be thrifted in order to win. So I know I'm not going to find what I have in my mind, but I'm going to try to find materials to help me make it. So
Okay.
I'm still within the rules.
Right. Hmm.
We got Adam Baldly picking in the house. Baldly Pal picking. Adam, your
What's up, Adam?
profile of the little action figure, when I see it, I'm like, that's Adam. But
Yep.
then I'm like, he's missing half of his right eyebrow in the action figure. I'm like, touch that up a little bit. You're not missing an eyebrow, but it's pretty damn near close. I like seeing that profile picture.
The real
Dan,
thing is
welcome in. Welcome in from Colorado.
Colorado, the springs.
What's known in Colorado?
There's these mountains that are to the west of me.
Other than that, like what are some things in your town or city that's like you would be like, you got to go try this or you got to go see this?
Oh man, I don't know. I haven't seen them yet.
So
No, it's
Cheryl,
all about going to the mountains here. I mean, whether you come in the winter, you gotta go. People go skiing. Um, in the off seasons, there's a lot of hot springs up there to go to. It's all about the mountains here, man. People come here
well, in
to go to the
Australia,
mountains.
it's all about the vast lands, and they got some beautiful mountains up there too. I had a friend, um, more like a childhood friend, not a friend to this day because I don't even remember her name, but at the time she was a friend. She would go to Australia, and she would go to the mountains. Her and her family, I think they're from there. And when she would take photos, she's eye level with the clouds. So you see the clouds eye level, and then the whole city scenery is like beautiful photos, like no photoshops, no filters. It was just like, wow, that's amazing. So, Carol, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. This is the cheapest way to travel is online to see people and places at times. No tickets or seats necessary. You don't have to open a side door in case something happens for an emergency. You just got to click on and off and smash that thumbs up button.
And your seat cushion is not a flotation device. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's not.
there's probably snacks under there if you're like me. Two old guys. That's gonna be two old guys. Is gonna be Michael and Mark. They give me
Michael
some
and Mark.
really high praises the other day on Glam's Closet, Dana's Closet, and they're just sending me nothing but showers of like good vibes. And I was like, whoa, like you're talking about me? Or are you talking about the same person? And they were, because Dana kept bringing it up, and I was like, yeah, they're definitely talking about me. I appreciate it. Very humbling, and also puts me in my place to just know that people are watching from everywhere. Betty Packard, hi guys, good evening to you, and good evening
Hey,
to you as
Betty.
well. Where is everybody watching from? We'd like to know. So let's talk back
U.S.
about
Air
that
Force.
Korean barbecue. For a
Yeah.
show of emojis in the live chat, how many of you have had Korean barbecue? And if you haven't or have, how do you feel about going to a restaurant and having to cook your own food? I mean, you're paying for this. How do you feel about it, Jimmy? Was that your first time, or have you tried it
That
before?
was my first time ever going to one. If I am cooking myself beef belly, then I don't care. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll get it done. Not it did I mean it was good. I mean it tastes good enough. It didn't bother me at all.
Beef belly is like beef bacon. If you're into bacon, you're into beef. Like, this is one of those things, and I was stupid enough to try this back in Hawaii. I was starving, I was in shape, and I was like, I could eat anything in the world. I went to Burger King, and I was like, man, I really want a chicken sandwich, but I also want a burger. So I asked the lady, hey, can I get a cheeseburger, but can I add a slab of whatever, the chicken breast? And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. Does not taste great at all. Not at all. It was horrible. And a waste of money. And I was like, why am I doing that? Because I was working out really good at the time. And that
What
was
was
an
that thing
amazing
that Carla ordered that was like corn with cheese on it too? Like
cheese corn.
that
Yeah.
was good too, man. So like yeah, everything about it was
That's weird though, right? Because more and more places are like, you would think cheese and corn, like it's nothing, but then when you try theirs, you're like, whoa, this is pretty good.
yeah.
I'm the type of person that things need to cool down. I don't like things sizzling. At
But
least
that corn
99%
comes
of
out
the time,
sizzling though.
it comes
The
out
cheese
sizzling.
is bubbling on top. Yep.
Yeah, like if y'all haven't tried cheese corn is cheese mixed with corn. I do not like cream of corn because it's sweet and it's usually mushy, but this is almost like fresh cut off the cob corn, mixed with cheese, and it probably has a little bit of butter or something in it. And it's super simple. I tried making that at home and realized it's not that simple, but it's simple. It's simpler to order it and eat it rather than trying to make it yourself.
And it goes with that Korean barbecue perfectly, man. Yeah. I think Carla did most of the cooking though, right? I mean, if I'm being honest with
I
myself.
did a little help. Like I served water. I remember doing something for
I
a
ordered
friend that I was
too,
like, "This
right?
sounds like an amazing idea. Can you get this hat so we could get some video
Oh
footage?"
yeah.
I loved that I did that because I was super nervous and shy when it comes to certain things. Like strangers, people that I know online, I feel like I would be comfortable. But people I don't know, like I don't know them enough to know if they're comfortable with me. So for
Yeah.
me to ask, I was like, I got to do this for Jimmy. Like, so I did it for you. I had got Jimmy's hat. I asked our waiter if he could put our hat on a tray. And here at the Korean barbecue, most of your food comes on a tray, like a little mechanical dish that comes to you. If the light's on your side, then it's for you because there's seats on the opposite side that it may be for them. So if the seats
Right.
on your side, that tray will come with your food and items, your drinks. You take it off, and after a few seconds, I guess it figures out the weight, and then it'll slide back. So I was like, what if we put Jimmy's hat on there, record it as it comes to us, like it's serving us a fresh,
Made for a great Instagram story.
yeah. But I would use that all the time, like in an intro, that little
Right.
piece along with other things. That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Adam says, made that action figure for me. Oh, Ken did. Oh,
Yeah.
love it.
And Adam is actually very buff like that action figure in real life. He's yoked.
Is that sarcasm?
No,
U.S.
giving
Air
him
Force
props,
Academy.
man. He
Oh.
used to be a wrestler, actually. I'm just playing.
Diana's U.S. Air Force is in the U.S. Air Force Academy.
Yeah,
Nice,
right down
props
there
to
in
you.
Colorado Springs.
I think I went to Kansas on my second tour to Iraq. It was supposed to be like a 4 hour layover, and then something happened where they forgot to tell the pilots that we were flying out that day. So the person in charge of the Air Force base there in Kansas, wherever we went to, was like, "Hey, we're gonna give you our lieutenants, our officers' quarters." Man, I used to work at the Wynn. I worked at the Wynn Hotel, the five-star resort hotel casino here in Las Vegas for 4 years. So whenever we used to do room checks, of course I'm going to try and test the bed and see what all the hype is about, and it's amazing. I do prefer the Encore side over the Wynn side, but it's still the same company, just a different aspect or routine of how they do things on each side. But nothing to me, I don't think, has ever compared to how comfortable those beds and rooms were. As soon as I sat on it, like it just pulled me down. It said, "You're not coming out from here." It was like a bag of marshmallows just hugging me, like, "Hey, welcome home for now." And we stayed there 4 days. And what was cool about it is that I think the governor or the mayor of the area found out that the army was there. And they're like, "We've never had the army here." And rather than starting some crap, they're like, "Hey, we want you to come and see our minor leagues team. We're going to let you all in for free and give you 2 free tickets for alcohol."
Ew.
So it was pretty awesome until freaking army punks were going up in areas they weren't supposed to be. And then it was a mess. But we even got to walk the field. It was pretty awesome for the Star Spangle.
That's
It
cool.
was, yeah, it was a pretty good story. Another thing I remember about it, now talking about it, there was a kid with my last name being Sanchez. For those of y'all that don't know, it has Sanchez. So this kid comes up to me, and kids being kids, he was like, "Hey, your last name's Sanchez?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What's your first name?" And I was like, "It is." And he was like, "It is?" His eyes got so big. I said, "Yeah, my first name's Dirty." And he was like, "Oh my God, I got to tell my friends." So he went to go tell all his friends, and these are like teenagers. And their
That's
parents are coming down. They're like, "We don't believe you." And he was hyping it up. And I was like, now I got to go with this. So I was like, "Yeah, my first name's Dirty." They're like, "Oh my God." 30 Sanchez does exist. And then when I really found out about it, because people were talking, like, "Do you know what that is?" I was like, "No." So when I looked it up, I was like, "Oh, that's gross."
oops.
Yeah, I take it all back.
I take it back. I take it all back.
Public Train Center. Oh man, that sounds like a lot of workouts over there. Mark Michael, Independence, Missouri.
Hmm. I was in Missouri not too far back. I stopped through St. Louis and then to Kansas City.
You're gonna have some people probably moving up there. Well, next year you will. Another reseller, maybe even another one. Carry American Arbitrage was talking about. He said if he was gonna move from Vegas, he would like to go to Florida. And I'm like, come on, man, stay here in Vegas with the cool
North
peeps.
East Coast.
Yeah,
We gotta
East
rip
Coast.
this West Side.
Love Korean barbecue. There you go. Easy invite. Oh, Ken, and if you ever make it down to Vegas, you are definitely invited. And a
Yeah,
hangout. I love that.
Angie.
I love to meet you in person.
They got a new
Ooh,
podcast. Andy's got a new podcast with Rachel and Kristen, right?
Ken does? Angie
No,
does.
Angie. Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard about it today or yesterday.
I get
And
to. I
then
get the. Oh, sorry.
I think Angie talked about it in her live yesterday. And then when she mentioned it, I went over on Instagram and it popped up. And then I just immediately followed.
Or maybe they're joining a podcast. I don't remember exactly how they
I think they're starting their podcast.
started one. I get to go to yard sales with Kristen tomorrow. She's gonna ride with me to yard sales tomorrow.
Ooh, right
So
along yard
I'll
sale.
be taking a rural squirrel with me to yard sales.
Uh-oh. Watch out for them squirrels. They're swifty. And this squirrel likes bulgogi and kimchi. I love kimchi. How about
No,
you, Jimmy? Why not? What about kimchi that you don't
it's
like?
disgusting. That's why.
That's it?
Yeah, my wife likes it, and I'm like,
Does she try to kiss you?
get away from me with that breath. Kimchi breath is the worst. I'm gonna get into trouble, but I don't even care because it's the truth. She'll be like, "Oh, this is good," and I'm like, "Get the heck away from me with that." Sorry, but it's like pickled cabbage and vegetables, right? But it's got a little bit of spice to it. I do not, and I've tried it a couple times, and I do not like it at all.
I love it. But being in Korea, I got to have the authentic, like the legit, homegrown, fresh kimchi.
Yeah,
So when I came to the States, along with that, when I came back to the States, another thing that threw me off was ramen. Because I used to be big on just the little packets of ramen that you boil, not the little cups. I think this was before the pre-microwave 2 minute cup noodles, ramen noodles. So when I went to Korea and had the real noodles and then came back, I was like, this is crap. I don't want this. I have standards now.
right. Yeah.
But I eat it now. My standards drop.
All right. So starting our own podcast, a podcast for from a woman's perspective on reselling. That's cool. I can dig it.
But men are invited too, right?
We should have Angie on this live sometime to talk about it.
Yeah, we can. We could have that next week if she wants, if she's free.
See that?
Hello, Marty, out from North Kakalaki. We got Angel in the house. Vegas is Africa hot right now. I've never been to Africa,
Me
but I
either.
could imagine from the National Geographics when like the sun rises and it's like all wavy to heat. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I lived in Arizona. I know all about that.
Heads up. Thanks for the heads up.
All right, Angie, we're gonna put you on the calendar. Is that confirmation that you're gonna be here next week? I'm gonna write it on this like pretend like it's a calendar.
I'm the best at making breakfast burritos. Not to brag, but why yes, hello panel and chat. You know that's Patrick when you start off the two words,
Patrick.
why yes. Like you don't need
I found a Michael Myers mask. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram. I know
I just sold mine
Patrick's
yesterday.
into that stuff. I just found a 2002 Michael Myers mask. I gotta go check exactly.
Yeah, I just sold mine, the one I got from Twin Falls, Idaho.
All right,
And it
Angie
was weird
next.
because I had it for $69 shipping cost first class because I figured somebody might want to have it right away rather than first class, or I mean priority mail. So padded flat rate envelope. I I saw at least three watchers. and they were on there for about a month now. And I sent out an offer of $49. I thought that was a great deal. I only paid $3 for it, and they really go for like around 35. But because we're getting closer to Halloween, I think the value is gonna be up there if you want to hold on to that price. So I sent offers for $49. Within seconds, somebody paid for it in full. I was
Wow.
like, let me just wait till the morning and pack this up because it was around 8 in the evening. Didn't get a message to say, hey, I didn't get my discount, because some people do that. They'll be like, hey, I didn't get my discount or something. So they didn't. So I got the full asking price from somebody. So snooze, you lose.
All right, so we got Angie for next week, and it'll actually be perfect because she said the first episode is next Friday, so we could talk about it the day before
Yeah.
the first episode drops.
Yeah.
Booked. That's booked, Sonny.
But we're gonna need some credits.
Yeah. Uh,
I just bought something from Angie. So folks, if you're not following Angie Resells, Jimmy knows more about Angie than I do. So we could let Jimmy share some history of Angie.
Angie has been on YouTube for a while now. She's a great reseller. She does a live with Bobby, the cap guy, on Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday nights, I drop in before because I record my podcast on Wednesday nights. So just before I record it, I drop in. I think they switch between their two channels, and they do like some contests. Like sometimes they'll take three items and you have to pick which one you think sold for the most, and then the middle, and then the least, and stuff like that. So they have a lot of fun on there. And then yeah, she was at FlipCon, came back from FlipCon, and now she's starting a podcast. So that's exciting. Like that's fun. I love podcasts. I think we've talked about this. Like I have a lot of fun doing the one that me and Ken have. I know they're going to enjoy it, and I know it's going to be a lot of good information. So go check out Angie Resell's YouTube channel, and then watch for the podcast that she's going to be part of.
Hey, Angela, welcome. Another Floridian in the house. But we also got some Vegas peeps, low life LVs up there that I highlighted earlier, who credited me for some awesome burritos, and they weren't burritos; they were tacos. And then we got Tom here. He's a vendor here at the flea market. I often see him when I'm out sourcing early in the morning. He finds some stuff, and we cross paths often. Always say hello to each other. Really good vibes from him. We got Cheryl, another squirrel. My husband says same thing, Jimmy.
About kimchi.
So, Cheryl, anybody who eats kimchi and your significant other, if they don't like it, do you try kissing them after eating some, like purposely, even though you're gonna enjoy it? Because I often do with my wife. I eat some and I'm like, hey, babe. And she's like, no. She already knows what I'm doing. I was like, oh, and I throw what in her face what she says to me. Oh, you don't love me? So she ends up a 50-50 chance she's gonna kiss me. With me, it's 100% I'll kiss her if she eats something I don't like. There's this like little fish, and it's the stinkiest thing in the world that her and her family eats. It's like a traditional kind of fish. I forget the name that they call it, but I call it stinky fish, and so
That,
do they.
that's what I would call it too.
It's they call it stinky fish, but there's an actual name for it. And when she eats it, I'm like, her mom cooks it. I'm upstairs, and it wakes me up, like it punches me in my nostrils. I'm like, oh God, no. I run downstairs. I turn on the vent. And I'm like, turn on the vent. I get after my mother-in-law. I'm like, turn on the vent. Put that sucker on max. And she's like, oh, I forgot. I'll do it after. It's not the same thing cooking it after. Now it's all over the house, and I smell it. It gets in the furniture. I don't like it, but supposedly they say it tastes delicious. They usually eat it with mango. Yeah, they usually eat it with mango.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
The Korean Englishman on YouTube. I'm gonna follow him right now. See what the talk
Where are
is.
you? I'm gonna see where you're at. Shit. We have a question okay.
Go ahead. Let me get this.
Um, First of all, I want to say what's up, Shad. What's up, Mike? What's going on? Matthew Pate. Any advice on selling Lego minifigures? My mom came across 3 huge boxes of Lego, tons of minifigures, and mixed Lego sets. Best approach. Um, so I've sold minifigures. The best approach is Google Lens because I don't know them all. because some figures are worth a lot of money. So try it. It's worth your while. You have two options though. It's worth your while if you ask me to go through each one, lens it, try to ID it, and look it up on eBay. Or you can go for the quick flip and sell it like a wholesale lot. You can either do an auction on it because they will get bid up. Lego does very well. If there's a good figure in there, if there's good figures in there, it will get bid up, but you might not get full value. So if you do ID them and you find the if you cherry pick them, if you will, and find the good ones, then the ones that aren't so good, put them in a lot and sell them on eBay in a lot, and sell the good ones individually. That's how I would do it, and it can be worth your while because some of those minifigures are worth a ton of money, hundreds. So it could be worth your while to do that.
I concur. What he said.
Google
Chad
Lens. If you
Juice?
don't have it, get it. Google Lens is amazing. The reverse image search. It can help you ID a lot of stuff.
Yeah, sometimes too with the Google Lens, you don't want to have too much of a busyness in the background.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to just have it singled out with just a simple background, nothing crazy. And then sometimes the angle of that object, because some people have some weird angles, and it'll pick up the things that you think
Right.
wouldn't, like the top of somebody's head, and it's like it gives you exactly what you want. It's so weird. But I
One
think the
other
more people use it, the better it's gonna, I think, learn and tweak things.
Another thing is there's Facebook groups out there if you want to go that route too that can help you ID them. You can take pictures and they'll help you find out exactly what set it came from or whatever. There's actually quite a few Lego groups that will help you with that. So there's options if you decide to ID them individually. So
Gary,
and you know that question sparks my interest when it comes to toys. You know, so 'cause I'm not
that's
an expert on
insane.
Lego by any means, but
Gary,
I
go
know how
dog
to.
go, who haven't heard from in a while or seen online. He put me on some Facebook groups, especially with Levi's. I had ended up coming across some what I felt was $400 Levi pants, and they ended up selling for 350.
Oh
But
wow,
I didn't know because there's some numbers sometimes the Levi's on the actual leather tag, and people were like, "I've never seen this. It's a fake." I immediately thought that, but the feel of them felt like quality. So for $9, I'm gonna scoop these up. So when I threw it photos on the Levi page, people it's like a competition. People want to be the first to tell you yes or no, and then they'll tell you why. And if you want to have more questions about it, like people know the history of these things, and people even reach out to you like, "Hey, I'll buy it from you directly." And I think Facebook pages, they're not mentioned often, but there's a lot of pages out there that are there that just want to like beat others, just like it's bragging rights almost. And it's not so much of a boohoo story. This happened to me. I'm really getting tired of those type of things on Facebook. I want to learn and not hear about some sad story when you're more than likely an adult. Not to be mean, but there's some better things to go about growing rather than a pity party.
yeah, yeah.
Got Danny May in the house.
What's up, Danny? Man,
She's been very active. She was feeling ill, a little sick, talking with Kelly Reseller Luis, and every time she was saying she wasn't feeling good, I was sending out some prayers and good vibes that you actually feel better, Danny May. Got Matthew Pate. Thanks. Yeah, it was Spider-Man Iron Spider going for like 45 and Han Solo 70 for 54, pay 75 for the three. So the boxes. Nice.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Nice.
It's one of those things that's gonna take some work, though. It's definitely not gonna just happen overnight. It's gonna take some work to
Sometimes too, the figures with minifigures, the actual characters, people will swap out the heads in the helmet
Yep.
or a shirt, and sometimes those little things too are like, I need that little facial expression because I've had some where I'm like,
Yep.
man, I got this just to chance it and learn from it, and I made like $35 off of just like a little tiny head, and I'm like,
Yep.
how do I pack this? It's so small.
Yep. It's funny because a lot of the rare minifigures are ones that came with a set, like a whole set, and there was three minifigures with the set. Those are the ones that seem to be the most rare and people want. are the ones that that came with the big like a rare set, and then
Yeah.
they need the figure to complete their set.
Cheryl says, "Too bad we don't live in Vegas anymore. My hubby is a beer salesman and could have hooked you up for the party, Sonny. We have cases right now since neither of us drink." Where do you live?
Right?
I do
How
a
much
little
does it
voice.
cost to ship a keg?
Well, they do have a license if they're doing it, I believe, like to probably do that. Hey, I'm down though, Cheryl, for some headgear and stickers and keychains. Some of those the can openers, those are always awesome.
Well, I don't want to. I don't. Matthew, I don't want to talk about whatnot, but if Sonny does, he asked if we've tried sign on
I
what.
saw stuff about selling and whatnot. Have you all tried that? We've tried whatnot. I think I had like 5 different auctions, and they were all entirely different. Every one of them was different. There was maybe 2 or 3 people that would come in, and those were the ones like I knew they would battle or compete with somebody to get something they really want. But if nobody was there, they're getting it for cheap, you know. And I made money off of it. I didn't make a lot of profit. I was just trying to figure out what works. For a lot of people, one of the I think it was the blind bidding. What's it called? I forget what it's called already because I haven't done it in months. Where you
The
have something in your
pre-bid or whatever,
not so much the
or
pre.
the yeah, I'm not sure. So one thing I do want to say, Matthew, if you're not already approved to sell and whatnot, there is a. Did they change that, or is there still a process to become a seller? You don't just go on there and sell. You have to apply
Mm.
to sell on whatnot, and sometimes it takes a while to get approved. It all depends. Some people had been approved quick. Some people it's taken a while. So
Yeah, I
that's
think it.
part of it as well that you should consider if you're not already approved.
Yeah, I think it took me 3 weeks if I remember correctly, which I don't remember correctly too often, but I think it was 3 weeks. And I didn't do a video on whatnot to like say, hey, I'm trying to do a video for whatnot to get them to see, a following. I just felt like my information that I put on there when they asked me when I applied, I remember I think one of the little things that was significant to me to share with them was when they said, "What do I sell?" It's kind of asking you one option or area category of what you sell. And I listed like Funko Pops, vintage apparel, quality pre owned apparel. Like I had a little list of key things. And before I knew it, I wasn't expecting much, and then 3 weeks later, I believe it was like, "Hey, you've been approved. Here's the onboarding." And if once you make it onboarding, that little thing that they tell you to go into is nothing to worry about. All it is just a PowerPoint slide. They tell you how whatnot works, what they expect from you, and just save their contact number, whoever it is that
Yeah,
talks to you on that PowerPoint kind of Zoom thing. Just save their information because they're your go-to people of if something happens rather than going to a customer care and you're bouncing back and forth like on eBay and phone calls, your cable service. I think that's one of the things I really liked that there's one person to go to.
yeah. You have like a rep. You have your
Mhm.
representative. Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. I think it's great for things. I think for whatnot, it was meant to be a lot better. And I feel like I was part of the shade of what people say, like people are just dumping trash on whatnot. I don't feel I was dumping trash, but I was offering things that I knew wasn't worth for me to put on eBay, but still profit. Because sometimes you buy items and you end up wanting a bulk buy only because that's the only option that they're giving you, and you're only wanting certain pieces and everything else, it doesn't matter. But you're only getting it for certain pieces, so it's all profit. So
Right.
I I that's how I looked at it. And you do what works for you. It doesn't matter what people say. Whatever works for you. If you sell something for $2 and you're happy with it, do what helps you. Do what you care about. It doesn't matter what other people say. To tell you the truth.
This is my opinion. I'm going to give my opinion on Lego on
What's up,
whatnot,
Miss Lachey?
and what you're talking about having a lot of Lego figures. You would be better off making sure you took really good pictures, putting them on eBay on an auction, If your pictures are good and you let them see every minifigure that is available, and you started an auction off at a high price for the lot of figures, you would do better on eBay than you would do on Whatnot. I have no doubt in that. I know it's my opinion, and I say I don't doubt it, and I do not doubt it.
So Justin,
Because I've sold enough Lego on eBay to know that the lots sell very well on there. If you go into eBay and look at Lego minifigure lots, and you look at the sold, and you look at auctions, they're getting bid up. Lots of bids on them. They are getting bid up, and they're selling for a decent amount.
wow. Crystal said, I heard they have stopped accepting clothing sellers right now and are approving people in estate categories because they are trying to grow that. I mean, estate's money. And that's the thing with the world that it is today. I think it all started back with Uber. How Uber started saying, "Hey, let's get this app, and we just get to pick up people, and it's like a taxi, but it's not. But we're like it's a different twist on it, and it's much better." And then I feel like when the world shut down, it just made people want to shop more, which is why Whatnot started was because of the shutdown. They're like, hey, there's things people need, but they're having issues on these other platforms. Maybe we could help. And that's really why Whatnot started was just to help find that gap and make it easier to sell stuff. And it has been easier to sell stuff. Can ask sellers that only make XYZ to make huge gambles or risk to put nice
Yeah,
stuff in the auction.
yeah,
Price accordingly. That's what they say as well as like auction or not, Whatnot, eBay, anything that you have something on, if you know it's valuable and you have a bottom dollar, you could start it there or price it up. Because sometimes for those who are experienced, even just for about a year in reselling, even a few months, you could have an item worth $1,000 and then you could have like 10 people message you like, hey, I'll buy it for 700. And at first you're like, no, it's worth 1,000. Then after a while, you're like, crap, I could have sold this and profited and moved on to the next thing. So you learn as you grow and apply your experiences and what you're comfortable with.
yeah. I mean, if I were to take if I were to add one word to that comment that Justin said is especially after I would put a live auction. To put something like that on a live auction is very risky. Yeah, I mean that's the advice I gave. I would go through it myself. I would I would try to ID everything. But there's people that make a lot of money flipping wholesale off it and let the next guy do all the work and flip it quick. So there's ways.
What is the same as find a flip? You got to talk about one or two. I'll answer that, and I'm sure Jimmy will as well. But if you in the chat as well, share your best find and flip, your story as well. I'd like to know because that information might be something I might come across this weekend or next week.
Um, right now I still have what I think is my best find on my shelf. It's a rare Super Nintendo in the box. It's the Kirby Target only. It was released only at Target. It was a Kirby with the Kirby game with the console, and it's all complete in the box in perfect condition. Hasn't sold yet. I priced it high because I'm not sure if I want to let it go, but I picked that up on Facebook, and what was great about it is the guy was selling a bunch of stuff, and in there with it were brand new model kits of like muscle cars. So he lotted it all up, and I can't tell you exactly what I paid for it, but I'll tell you this: I've sold all the model cars and made my money back. And so the console will be all profit if I sell it because the model kits sold for what I paid for the whole lot. And there was a lot. Like I paid a lot of money for it, but there was a lot of model kits in there that were worth a lot of money that made all my money back. So right now, I think that's my best find that I've ever found.
My best find was I'm still trying to beat this one. I found a clarinet for $50. I was on a red tag when Goodwill used to have that often over here. So this was years ago. bought it for 50, got it appraised after months. There's a story in between that, but long story short, got it appraised. They said as is 1,400. I threw it up on eBay for 1,400. I got an offer within a few hours for 1,350 plus the shipping costs, and that was my biggest flip to this day. Out of all things, an instrument. Like I would never have guessed. The only reason I picked up the instrument was because to me these were like grandparents who were looking at this clarinet and saying they were saying it out loud like, "Hey, this is old." Like, "Oh, this is old. I don't want to mess with this." And then one of another like grandpa type guy was walking by. He's like, "Oh, this is old." And I'm like, "If you're old and you're saying that's old, I should look at this." So I did, and I was like, I'm just gonna take a chance on this. Like it was in really good condition, other than the mouthpiece. And then that's another thing I learned about mouthpieces from this experience is that certain mouthpieces may be clear, and some of those could be valuable because only certain ones were made by the Buffett family, and this was like a family ordeal, a company business. And I think the less bubbles, the more valuable, or the more bubbles, one of them may be more value. But looking online, I was like, holy crap. And I got a really good deal on offer, and I got a right away got feedback pretty promptly. As soon as they got it, they saw it, and they're like, thank you. This was a great buy, A plus seller. So it was pretty cool. Other than that, I've had some really good sales, especially recently for like 400, $500 um, buys on eBay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't. I have not broke 1,000 on a single sale. I've had some in the hot, close, but never actually had. I take that back. On Facebook, I have on Facebook locally some stuff from storage lockers. I always forget about those sales. Um, some electric scooters and bikes and stuff that I've gone over 1,000 for. So I lied just now. I apologize.
That's a good
Never
lie
on eBay.
in my
Never
book.
on eBay. Just locally.
I'll take those kind of lies every day. Hey,
Right, yeah. Those are nice little surprises that just popped into my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I sold that bike for 1,200, and I sold that scooter for 1,200. Yeah, nice little
if
surprise.
if I have a camera that I bought from another reseller, and they're like, Sonny, I'm holding this for you, and it's he'll probably pop in here in a little while. Omar, he was like, hey, I got this camera for you, and it was meant for me to buy. When I seen it, I wanted it for my other friend here, who's a music artist, and I'm like, this would be cool to make some videos. Although you need some other gadgets to like have it render over to say like a regular computer for a system to read. So I ended up buying it for like 150 or 125. I went online and I saw the little reader. Somebody was selling it for 80, so I bought it all together with everything that it came with and the reader. I think it's worth like around 2,400. So that's what I have. I have it like at 2,800 because I have the case and everything with it. And I got an offer a month ago for 800, but I know it's worth a lot more. And if I was on a crunch for money, I would have let it go. But I just felt like that was too low an offer. I did counter, and I didn't hear back from them, so that just said something to me.
Hmm.
So Kyle,
What's going on?
heard rumors people were at a time selling Lego figures for a premium and whatnot. No doubt needs to be advertised and put in correct category. That is true. Even on eBay and whatever you're listing on, it got to be in the right category.
Some
What's up, Canada? Got Happy Kitty
Jonathan.
here. Very surprised to hear that it was a dime dozen in Canada. Who have thought my old junk would be vintage now? By the way, I'm only 65.
I mean, I
65 years young.
it's a lot of a lot of the stuff from when I was a teenager and early 20s is vintage now as well.
Yeah, I'm vintage, folks.
I
I'm
am
vintage, so
vintage times two.
I can't. You can't sell this though. I'm priceless. What's up, Susan? Thank you. Love my videos. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
She's got some interesting comments about the people you associate with, and I'm curious about that comment. I mean, she put it out there for the world to see, so I'm
Which
curious.
one is it?
because I resemble that remark. I think
What? Who is it and what is it?
Susan, she said the next one that she said. One more. There you go. I mean, it's out there for the world to read. And when I say the world, I mean people that are watching this live right now.
Yeah. You're very kind and caring, not like some others YouTubers that you associate with.
Hi,
That
Ricky.
I doubt you. I can't think of anybody, but
I mean, I use
maybe it could
clickbait
be
for
people
sure.
I
I'm a
follow in
clickbait.
their lives or people I mention. And that's one thing Derek got me on when I got into lives, because I wasn't into lives like I am now. But when I started getting into other people's lives in the chat rooms, like you all awesomeness people are, I started seeing a different side of the resellers. But it wasn't a bad thing, although it wasn't the type of way I would talk or the way I would say things. To me, I've always said the value of what you can learn from others is what they say, not so much the tone, they're yelling, or their eyes, or the color of their skin. It's what they say. What can I take from it to help me figure out how to be better?
Yeah,
So I know there's some people that come in my chats that are like, one would come in, and if one's there, the other one's not talking. And then it reverses. And I don't know why that is, but it's them. And if there's ever a situation to where they're bumping heads in my chat, I'll say, hey, y'all need to please stop. Like, I'm going to be respectful. I was in hospitality for 4 years, so I know that being on lives, the way I handle things also reflects back on me, regardless of how people are acting up in their own way. But again, this is an adult channel, so people should be adults. It doesn't mean you need to be serious and be mean towards one another and be like, I'm an adult, I can say what I want. You can, but when you say stuff, freedom of speech, there's always repercussions. And for this to be my channel and to have Jimmy on here, and this is one thing we've talked about with Jimmy is like, in person too. There's some things that we don't want to get involved in, but that doesn't mean we won't say something if it's directed towards us, and just cut it off. The best thing to do when there's some negativity that's affecting you, and especially if it's not true, tell them, hey, I'll talk to you later. I would prefer to talk to somebody one on one rather than argue in a chat with somebody that it's easy to be on on a computer typing away Tony Tough stuff, is what my friends call it. Hi, Kathy Turner. Stick 'em up member. Stick 'em up kids. I've been working on some things other. Let's get away from negativity. Characters. Characters are one thing that I love doing. And I got some messages the other day of people asking me to do some logos for them. I love it. I'm busy, so it's taking me a little longer. But one of them that I'm really excited about involves three people. There, I was only showing two fingers, but it's not cut off. Three people:
he's like,
Kevin, Carrie,
uh,
Kevin, Carrie, and Dave. And Dave's the one that reached out and was like, "Hey, I really want to do this." And I reached out to him yesterday again. I was like, "Hey, I didn't forget. I've just been busy working on other people's stuff." And one thing about graphic designs is that I don't like. It's kind of like eBay. Is that some people say, "Hey, this is what I want," and they send you a sketch, and you're like, "Oh, this is working out smoothly." And then all of a sudden they're like, well, can you add this? Can you add that? Can you add another person? I was like, that's a whole nother character I got to add. That's twice as much. But
yeah,
it's super simple. And if things were that simple, do it yourself. But
oh, yeah.
there's always Fiverr too if you want to go to Fiverr. I'm not cheap, but I'm glad people reach out to me. So I'm going to be working on theirs, and what from Dave said he wanted. I I'm glad it's taken a while because I've been able to think of something that when I think of it, I'm like, ew, but it's hilarious at the same time. So I'm gonna have two different versions for them to play with. One to just tease Kevin on, and then one just that I know they're gonna have. So stay tuned for that. Trash to Cash podcast. You're very kind and caring, not like others. Yeah, I used. I want to go back to this,
Yeah.
Susan. I wasn't always caring. And the reason why is because in the military, I was taught to just be a certain way by others. And I was like, okay, if they're doing that and they're this rank and I'm a leader now, just like them, and I carry this rank on my chest, pretty much a title, that I got to be just like them. And the more I opened up my eyes and was like, no, I'm not just like you. And I'm not gonna write somebody up because you said they did something wrong. I didn't witness it. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I'll be as a witness if you write them up and say, hey, you read them, him or her this. I'm gonna do it. And then I got in trouble for not wanting to write them up. I started seeing a different side of my company that I was in and started looking at who people were being picked on. And I was like, I don't like bullies. So I ended up turning into the bully who bullied the bullies. So in a way, a good way, but at the same time, it kind of altered my way of thinking to where I couldn't trust anybody. I was really negative. I was really beating myself up. And little did I know, I took it out on my wife because of the way I would talk. And she would tell me, I'm not your soldier. Don't talk to me that way. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm venting to you. But it's easy to say that, but when you're on the other side, taking in what people are saying, it's a different mentality, different upbringing or experiences that they face. So raising a voice could be something traumatizing. So after a few years of finally snapping out of it, I listened to my wife, and thankfully I did, and I want to go get some help. So after that, I realized like I don't want to be this type of person. That is not who I am. That's not what my family brought me up to be, and I want to be this way. So after decades, I've been working on being the way I am, patient. I finally gave in to taking meds, and meds I've been against the whole time. I'm like, I don't take Tylenol. At longest time I didn't drink soda, no candies. Like I was just one of them guys. Like I'm a robot, and then I'm like, no, I'm human. And I finally gave in for a good reason and started taking meds, and that has helped me be really patient, especially as a reseller, and not being anxious of, oh, here's something, I'm going to grab it, oh, I'm going to grab it, I'm going to grab it. My excitement is within, and I'm able to bottle it up, control it, look at an item, observe it, and make better decisions rather than just, oh, I see like a high listing, but I know I need to check comps, and then I need to compare my item to theirs. So there's been a lot of good in therapy. And my wife, she has the patience of a saint,
Right.
as they say.
I had a little bit of a thought on that though.
Hey, bring it in, bring it in.
I just, being, especially with your channel starting to grow and you start to notice, like, for starters, everybody says, and it's true, being yourself is the best thing you can do on here. Being genuine, as someone said in the chat just now, being yourself. And being yourself, not everybody is going to like you. And the second you start, I feel, the second you start trying to do things to make everybody like you, you're going away from being yourself and end up doing things that are not you to try to make everybody like you. And that's a big part of that comment. Like, being, not everybody likes me, not everybody's going to like you. And if you start going out of your way to try to make everybody like you and doing things that aren't you, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle mentally with this for sure. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and it jump on you jumping on me.
Oh, no,
On
well,
the,
no, I
no,
was.
no, no, as in like following through with what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My wife used to tell me this. She would always, when we first met, she was like, "You, it's like you need people's approval." And at first, I didn't see that. I always felt like, no, I'm a man, I'm independent. And then the more I listened, I started to realize like I think that's just the way in the military I was brought up. It was to listen. You do what you're told. If you have an issues, you need to come back to me, because no matter how I try to do things my own way, it wouldn't work. So it's like they broke me in, and it wasn't brainwashed. It's just I'm the one that gave in. I broke, and not just stayed the way I was supposed to. But I'm glad now, even when I got up, I had a first sergeant that was like, "What are you gonna do when you get out the military? Flip burgers?" And my immediate response was, "Yeah, if it makes me happy," and that's all I could get. And he was just like, he didn't like my answer because I was smiling about it. Like, yeah, if that makes me happy, I'm really gonna do that. And he made me do push-ups, and I'm like, why would you be mad at somebody who would be happy to say flip burgers? There's nothing wrong with that. I've never flipped burgers, but identical to it, I've worked at pizza places. I've worked on the fast line. I've washed dishes even after the military. And you would think like I'm up here, I'm in the military, I've done this and that, and I've gone to war. It doesn't matter what you've done to other people, because what you do is not the same thing as they done. Your hardships are no harder than others because hard is just hard. We have our own definitions on how it feels, and when you try to compete with, no, I've had a harder life. You can't compare that. It's a never ending battle. So you just like stop it, agree to disagree, and just be like, I'm glad you're doing what you're doing now, and we could talk. I'm glad we're friends, or I'm glad you're here today. That's how I see things, because we're losing too much people nowadays. Matthew, I just followed you, by the way. When it comes to print on demand, for those who don't know print on demand, Jimmy, you know what print on demand is?
Yeah, I used to actually that would yeah, I used to have some
Tell us
T-shirts
more.
back in the day. Well, it's funny
This is
because
new.
it's no, I mean,
Like,
I
this
don't know if I
info is
want to
new.
go there because it's actually kind of sad because
Oh,
the person, our friend that just passed away, is the one that
Nate.
Nate. He set me up on some print on demand T-shirts back in the day. So yeah, that's the only time I've ever. I have since changed my logo and haven't done anything since then. But back when I had my old logo, I had some shirts set up.
Was it on merch by demand at the time? Amazon merch?
No, it was just a print on demand company. I don't remember. That's been 2 years ago, so I'm not 100% sure.
Hmm. So print on demand is pretty much you design something, you submit it to whatever platform it's on that they're allowing you to do it. They print, they ship, and you get royalties from your designs once they approve it. I'm on Merch by Amazon, which is how I made these shirts. Oh, that little that little guy right there. And other ones, I just put in one today. Another design. I don't do them too often, but when something hits me in my noggin, I'm like, oh, I like that idea. I run with it. Um, if it sells, I get royalties for the most part. I obviously buy my own T-shirt at the price that it's on there. I don't get a discount on it. And if it sells, it sells. I just like that my art is somewhere out there for people to see, and if they're interested in it, it's fine. But I am working on making my own hats, which I have been. And this is pretty easy. You get a heat press, a hat that curves with here. Make sure if you get a heat press for hats, is that it's wide enough for the design. There's usually the bigger it is, the more expensive, but I would say it's worth it. So with that, I made some hats, and Brian, Red Dirt Picker, last week ended up winning, and he messaged me saying, "Hey, on my prize, thank you for it, but I want you to sign it and then do an auction and then just donate it to charity." So I'm going to end up working on that. That's one of the things. Rather than one hat, what I was going to give them, I'm going to make a little bit of stuff and see what they prefer, like an auction here on eBay, on YouTube, and you could just like email me and I'll figure out the payment and shipping. But he wanted it signed, so and donated charity. So I asked him which charity when that comes up. So, or eBay or something or on whatnot. I'm not sure.
So I forgot I didn't have my YouTube open. I'm gonna go over to Matt real quick and check
He was
it
the
out.
first name that came up. Rosie Crystal. I bought a 1950 Jane Shelley dress for $4. Woohoo! Where did you find that at, Crystal? Was that at the flea market, at the bins? I haven't been to the bins in a while. Last time I went was with Crystal and Angel, the low life OV. We have pretty good hookups here in Omaha with all my friends, family friends, grew up with, went to school, car club back in the day. I still miss Vegas. And then Susan wants to know, Cheryl, where in Omaha? Isn't there a movie called Omaha? Lived in Omaha 30 years. Where are you? We got Justin in the house. What's up, Justin? Hustle man, hustle man, hustle man. Live in Gretna, Elkhorn border. There's an Elkhorn near me. So glad you didn't pick up a nickel and dime stuff. Believe it's just for clicks and views. Um, every once in a while, depending on what something is, I would nickel and dime. Like I'll pick up some nickel and dime stuff for myself, or if I feel brave enough, I'm like, I bet I could sell this for more. And I do at times, which is crazy. Like the mask that I just sold, those usually go for like 30, but it sold for 69. And it's not a viewer that I know of. I probably only had in the last 5 years maybe 3 or 4 like viewer buys, but nothing recently. Other than like private buys that they see in a video, they'll message me and say, "Hey, Sonny, I want that." Kimberly's one of them. She might pop in later. She's also from Texas. She has messaged me, and then there's someone else who wanted a hat that Danny the Niche lady got me, and she reached out to me right away saying she would buy it for her son. So those are different, but I haven't had any eBay buys like that, which is nice. It makes it a lot easier. Justin, just in time flipping. Justin is his name. Instruments are overlooked because most of them don't have 5,500 to spend on an item. Great thing about instruments is they're low and high end. Also, people pump. One thing about instruments, especially quality instruments, they usually have a serial number. So you could go online, look up the maker's name, plug in the serial number, and more than likely within a few clicks, you're going to find exactly what you're looking for. And people do forums about instruments all the time, and they are backdated. And then a lot of times it might be in another language, which you go up to the search engine and figure out where it is to translate that language. But then you could also get Google Lens or Google Translator, just even on your computer, look it over, like highlight the screen, and it'll read it for you, translate it. So I think that's pretty cool too. My wife does that as well, but more of the audio one at work. She's a nurse, and when there's people who can't speak the language, whether it's Japanese, Chinese, Spanish, she will speak into the phone, even though they tell her not to use the phone, but she does anyway, just to make it easier for her. And I think that's really, really cool that there's things
Right.
out there like that.
I have a marching band drum for sale on Facebook right now. No, it's not worth a ton. I actually almost got in a little scuff
A little scuffle?
over a over a trumpet or something like that. I didn't even get it. I'm not the one that ended up with it. It was out in the estate sale quite a while ago. I was. I'll tell a story real quick. There was a lady digging for stuff underneath the table where the trumpet was. I did not want
There
to
was a
reach.
lady underneath the table?
She was there was boxes and she was
Okay,
digging through the boxes to
okay.
find stuff. Right.
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
take
why is there a lady under the table?
no. So she was because she was digging through the boxes.
Yeah.
So being polite, I think I've told this story. Being polite, I stood back, didn't want to reach over her to get to the trumpet, and it was an older one. I don't even know. And this guy, and I'm standing, I'm standing a little bit behind her, and this guy just kind of like cuts in front of me, in between me and her, reaches over her and grabs the trumpet and walks out of the room with it. And I was like, I was waiting for her to get done. I was being polite so I could grab that. I didn't want to reach over her. He's all, you snooze, you lose.
Should have sneezed on her. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I,
right.
what was that at that moment when you said it? Was it like you're right, but still it's like a respect factor? Because to me, you're not one person that would even say something, but it must have bothered you that much to where
Oh,
it's
I
like you
said
had to
something.
say something.
I can't tell
Because
you
you're
exactly.
not that type of person unless you're pushed.
Yeah, I said something about him being disrespectful. I let him know how disrespectful that was. And again, maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't. And maybe it's because I'm bigger and I know that there was a chance I would have bumped into her. I didn't. That's why I didn't do it. So, but I just thought it was disrespectful. I mean, he literally reached over this lady to grab it. So,
So I just got a inquiry from Go Cashback. So you use their app, shop for stuff that you do, get pointers and tips, and then you get a percentage back. You can earn up to 40% cash back. There is also an exclusive $8 sign up bonus for a new member that registers through your channel.
hey
Okay.
Bob, thanks for coming over and watching. Appreciate it. You're new to the to reseller and to the YouTube community. It's fun stuff. Fun stuff.
Have you sold any ponies? Because Yvonne just said her pretty little pony prior to Little Pony bought for $6, sold for 250 buckaroos. I love those kind of sales.
Wow, that's good.
That's really good.
I've never heard of Pretty Pony. Now I saw at the thrift some there's a
Little Pony.
Cabbage Patch doll pony that looks like a My Little Pony. That's worth decent money. It's not worth that much money, but it's worth decent money. I did not, again, something that I did not get. I saw it on the shelf. Another person grabbed it before I could, but I still looked it up. Yeah, Danny, don't start with me, Danny. I don't want. It's not the time or place.
I when that whenever when I am nah, I can't even talk. Whenever I am with like relatives here in Las Vegas and we're drinking, eating, whatever, and there's a live, like I feel obligated, like I gotta see my friends, like their family, I see them all the time and I spend time with them, but then they're talking stuff I don't care about. So I'm just have my AirPods on and then I'm like listening in, and then that's when everybody wants to talk to me and ask me questions, and I'm like, oh, like kick out, like, but then I'm pressing the comments, but then accidentally hitting like blocking people or timing out. I did that on Tracy's live one time. She was like, Sonny, I think it was Danica, Lady Lung Jug. She was like, oh, you blocked her. I was like, oh crap. Like I didn't even know you could do that. But I could hear in my AirPod and I'm like answering family and then hearing and I'm like talking to the questions in the AirPod. Like I was all over the place. I cannot multitask. I'm genuine. I appreciate that, Angel. I think I am. I've come a long way.
I think
I've
he
come
was
a,
saying you were genuine, like the guy that sings.
oh, speaking of little ponies, I can't dance like him at all. Well, maybe now, like the way he dances now, like the weird part, like yeah, I can do that. Sorry, Sonny, I was talking about the old paint on the black velvet from the 70s. No problem. Canada in the house. Tell him, Sonny. Scroll down here. We got my hermano, my primo right here. Kelly Reseller Luis. Jennifer Hayes all over the place. I was watching her video earlier. Very soothing voice, listening and watching. I was back and forth editing a character for a new shirt that I'm. Hopefully, I get the thumbs up on it because there should be nothing wrong with it. Sometimes on merch by Amazon, I'll get like your design got rejected, and I'm like, but why? And then it sends you email tell you why, but it doesn't tell you why.
Huh.
So sometimes there's a title that may be something that a company actually has, but my stuff's pretty generic, and I don't try to create names that are like
This was so
keywords, like to get found, which I probably should, but it's more of like when I have it, I share it, and if people in the description want to see some fan merch, and just look at it, you don't have to buy nothing. Like you could see what I have.
I want to talk to you about that when I come out there.
Duns. Let's talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it.
His eyes opened up on that, folks.
Crystal, and what's up? 52-8.
I can tell you served the military. I seen the honor and dignity in you. You know, military honor was one thing for me, but it was more of the integrity of when I saw things and heard things said to where within seconds it was flipped. And I was like, that's not right. That's not what you just said. That's not what you did. And these people didn't do that. And learning from that myself, it just made me credit people, whether I was with them for a second. I've said this a lot of times. If you're with somebody and they say, hey, Sonny, like, hey, Jimmy, congratulations. Like, you did an awesome job
Oh,
sweeping up
thanks.
this
Appreciate
corner,
it.
sweeping up this corner. And you're like, oh, thank you. Not that Jimmy would do this, but just an
No,
example because he's
I
here
wouldn't.
with me, but somebody else before him was the one like just they tried, but then they're called away. Like to me, that's like I would be like, oh, thank you, but the other person actually started it and I just finished it because he got called away and not, oh, somebody didn't finish it, so I did it. Like that's the kind of person I am. And I just hate when people just don't credit people even for the smallest things. And the one time, well, one of the few times I did it, but the first time I did that for a coworker at the win, he stopped and looked at me and his eyes got big and he was like, hey, thank you. And this guy didn't like me. Like he told people he wanted to punch me in the face. He called me a kid, and I'm like, 15 years older than him. And I'm like, even after this, he looked at me and said, "Hey, thank you. Nobody's ever given credited me for anything." And I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, hey, you're welcome. Just stop talking crap about me." You know, like it was just one of those things. But it, those little things go a long way in people's lives.
Yep.
They could have their chest come out high, have their chin up higher, and they just like, "Hey, I'm actually doing the right thing and not being overlooked." But some people don't like to be looked at and then complain about that they're not being looked at. I've experienced that myself.
See, I'm actually a person that I don't. When I worked, I didn't want to. I didn't want to hear. I was more. I'm doing my job. I feel like I'm doing a good job. Don't get on me about the bad. Things that you think are bad. I also don't need praise either. I don't know. It's kind of a weird dynamic in my messed up head where I was like,
Hmm.
maybe the team. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I can't explain it, but like, I didn't need praise, but I also didn't like if I was doing a good job to be, told I wasn't. If and maybe I wasn't though. Maybe I.
Now, my wife is big on me and says like, "You need somebody to pat you on the back." And I'm like, "Who doesn't though?" Like I would say I don't need it for decades. I would say I don't need a pat on the back.
Yep.
But then after time is like you do stuff and you're good at it and say like you do it to yourself more than anything. It's all mental. Somebody comes along, does very little, and they're like, "Hey man, good job." And then I'm like, "Well, what about me?" But I was the one putting myself out there in my own head. It was like, I don't need your appraisal. But then that happens, and it's like, I need some appraising. I need to be praised. I need a pat on the back. And I think everybody does in one way or another, but not to where it's like every little thing you do is good, you know, for every little thing. Like if you're doing a good job, good job. Like you come a long way. For example, Danny May. Danny May, I would say, is one of them. For those who don't know, Danny was YouTube. I think around the same time me and Jimmy started. Cat the Nurse Flipper, Paul, Philly Flipper. A handful of us all started at the same time. Danny was doing very well, and then she had something that hit her, and she couldn't talk. She lost her voice, along with some other things. So, just yesterday or today, when she was talking with Cali Reseller Luis, when she said she wasn't feeling good, I'm like, please don't let something bad happen again. So for her to overcome not being able to talk and not doing what she was doing actively, like you could only imagine, like the fear at times of what if this happens again when you don't feel as good one day. So for me, I think about that, and I think I've always been that type of way to where I would put myself in other people's shoes to the fullest, not just I feel bad for you. It's like, what are they going through, what are they thinking about, how they're going to manage their life, how do they communicate if you can't talk. Imagine somebody who can't talk not have a vehicle, somebody who needs to get to work and say they're working in a call center. What happens with that type of stuff? So that's how I think. I don't know where Danny works at, but I just wish the best for people because I've gone through my own hard stuff and I don't want people to feel that way, like bad or like I can't be independent of myself. And those type of things are always in my head, and I worry and pray a lot about people. Did I list the talking lamp? Um, so this lamp is an imaginary. It's not imaginary lamp, but in my head, this lamp was talking to me. It was in one of my videos,
I love lamp.
and I was talking to this lamp. I guess good enough to where people were like, "I'm jealous of that lamp." So it was pretty funny. But no, I haven't listed it yet. I've been listing other things, and I probably should because it's a. I feel like it's a valuable lamp. I think I got it for like $8, and if I could find more information about it, which is why it's taking me a little bit longer, I want to have a good description and information to the price that I put it at and want to put it at says it in the description, title, and all, rather than just a vintage or antique lamp because there is a difference with it. And it's like somebody comes along and was like, well, you don't have a description on it. Like, I'm not going to pay that much. I know what it's worth or what it's worth to them and devalue it that way. But to me, I'm big on descriptions. So that's why I haven't listed it, but I will soon. Sorry, Michelle, I got my butt kicked that day and fell asleep in my office. The heat is so bad out here right now. Yeah, it's been hot. And I gotta set up my pool. We're gonna set it up next week. So when you come down, Jimmy, we're gonna have a pool in the backyard.
Heck, yeah, cannon. Oh wait, it's gonna be
Yeah,
above the ground, so I'm
yeah, above ground.
not gonna be able to do a cannonball.
I mean, you can, but it's
I
probably
can't
gonna
do
hurt. It's probably gonna hurt. Just don't go in head first. You know what I mean? Cheryl, so much my husband is that way that he said friends to the other dogs. So many stories I've heard about him sticking up for people that couldn't stick up for themselves. I am protective, even of strangers. Oh, did we get another member? What
Yep,
do I get?
storage invaders.
Hey,
7.
Bill Stoner. We got Bill in the house, folks. Everybody say hello to Bill. It's been a while, Bill. I mean, I seen you on Facebook, but not so much here on the tubes. Where is this? I am way behind. I
Yeah, you're pretty
apologize.
far behind.
Yeah, I'm a fast talker, but I'm a slow reader,
It
folks.
happens. It happens to the best of us. This is proof right now.
And we got Thrifty Lobster in the house. Jimmy, do you know Thrifty Lobster's first name?
No, I'm in the trouble now.
What is
I'm bad with names, though. We've determined that.
what is I can't even see the name. Uh Ford of Ford Pinto first
Richard.
name. Yeah, there you go.
Richard.
Okay,
I knew
not
it.
Rich. Actually, no, that's not his name. It's Robert. Totally different guy. Thirsty Lobster is Robert. It took me about 2 years to learn his name, only because Tracy said it, and I'm still trying to find where the highlighted. I am way behind, folks. Way, way behind.
See, I
I
think I did a long time ago. I did a YouTube video where I had to pass a box that we were passing around, and it went from. And I think I got his name wrong. I'm
thank
almost
you, Bob.
positive it did. So now I don't want to guess.
Jimmy, Bob's talking about both of us. Hope he could learn from you guys. Guys is us.
Hey, hey, we try. Um, everything I say is opinion based from or experienced on what I do in my store and what works for me.
I think if that's Las Vegas, I could see the little. I'm not on my iMac because it was giving me some issues to log on earlier. So I'm on my
Way, way,
tablet.
way behind Jennifer said.
Where we at? I think that's Tom's logo. Yeah, Storage Invaders 702. Thank you, Tom. I am still working on my video to welcome members. I have one for Super Chat, but I'm working on one for members. Thank you. So my membership is only $1.99. I started a few weeks ago because Luis, Cali reseller Luis said, "Hey, you got to do it. Just do it. If it's available, do it." So him talking to me and me telling him my reasoning and mentality behind it. Like I'm one thing about money is that it makes people funny. It makes them act really weird. And I'm not balling. I don't have a lot of money, but I'm very happy where I'm at. And memberships help just like say support me to pay for this StreamYard, to have my logo on here, to do the little things that I want to do with questions, which I'm glad I'm saying this. And thanking you, Tom, for the membership because I do have some comments, and I hope some of you can participate. And we're gonna see some of these questions that I have. Maybe Jimmy has some. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But maybe you do. So let's check out what I have here. Let me see if where's my thing at. All right. Question for everybody. All right. Regular popcorn, kettle popcorn.
That's for me. That's easy. I mean, if we're talking movie theater popcorn is regular popcorn all day, every day.
What about you in the chat? What's up? Another Canadian over here from Canada. Got Chris Thrift BCQ. If there is any higher membership tier, can we get a free can of spam asking for a friend? You know what? If I get another membership, that person is going to get a can of spam. Giving away spam on here. Kettle. Crystal says kettle. Free spam sounds good. Regular. You got a Blasto butter popcorn.
Hmm.
Whoa, what is that? That's something new to me. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. Sonny, because you are honest and you have integrity. I appreciate that. We got we got Jasmine. Oh man. Oh man. And out of all places, Canada, so that's gonna be some shipping costs, but that's fine. Um I was when I said it, I was like, he's probably gonna do it.
That's great.
Chris.
You think that'll get caught up in customs or anything like that?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, is this a gift or is it merchandise? It's like it's both.
They
It
might.
is
They'll
both.
be like,
Speaking of
"Excuse me."
customs, folks, if you end up, it's very easy to ship stuff overseas, international. Um, Even if you don't have an eBay store selling stuff to family, and you're like, for some reason you find your way shipping something overseas, you could use pirate ship on that, and it usually brings up the right information. Sometimes on eBay it's a little tricky, and you got to twist stuff around and plug it in. But for the most part, pirate shipper is pretty good to be using, especially what okay. Let me take this back, Jimmy. What are some tips for you when you what do you drop off mail? Let's start there, or do you have it picked up?
It's dropped up. My wife works right by the post office, so she drops it off
Ooh,
for me.
lucky.
Yeah, I mean it's you know she's awesome for doing that, and she does it because it's right by her work.
Hmm.
Um,
Everybody, if we could get a clap emoji or some type of emoji for Chris. Chris BCQ. Him, we've been following each other for a while too. I'm glad you come in. I've had him on some lives. I don't know if they have any Putin. I think it's called Putin flavor here in the States, but I wonder if they have Putin flavor out in Canada. Maybe we could do some spam swapping. That doesn't
uh,
sound right. Moving on. Moving on. So Jimmy drops off his
internet.
mail. Um, there are different ways to get mail delivered. So if you're wondering, like, oh man, like I really want to sell stuff, because I get comments like this a lot more lately that I've been growing and reaching out to people from all over. So it's like I really want to start reselling, but I don't have very much. When I started, I didn't have very much either. Um, there was I was borrowing a friend's vehicle. I didn't have very much money for gas. So I was walking to and from our apartment to the post office. And along the way, I yelped, like, what's the nearest Goodwill? Because I knew of the one I went to, and that was like 5 miles away. So that's a lot of walking. 5 miles to walk one way, look for some stuff, learn about things. And when you start, it's very hard. Not hard as new. So when I started figuring things out, I was like, wait, why am I not researching what's around me to make it easier? So then I started going in line at one of the Albertson grocery stores here. I was waiting in line, and I was seeing people go to one of those little the little dump box, the one that slides, and when you close it is like cram, and you're like, oh man, it's so loud. I spooked myself and everybody else. I'm sorry. So I finally asked the person after a few months, like, hey, what are you dropping in there? Like, how are you able to drop off now? And they're like, oh, I print my stuff online. And I was like, how do you do that? And they're like, oh, I go on this site, or you could print it on eBay. And I was like, you could do it on eBay? Folks, I was selling stuff on eBay, going in line, and then plugging in the information by hand manually, pressing the numbers and letters for eBay, not knowing I could scan it. Like, I didn't know anything about reselling. I was learning all on my own until I started asking questions. I was like, light bulb went on again, and then it flickered off. So before it flickered off, I was like, go online, and that's when I started learning about other resellers and YouTube.
Yep.
And then a few years later it was like live chats, and I was like, oh my god, I could get more information here. And there are certain places on YouTube where if you're not asking questions about what you want to know, and if it gets overseen and you're like, oh, I'm being ignored, folks, just as easy as I am on here trying to keep up with questions, there's so much more of you than there is of me and Jimmy. So it's not always that easy, but it's not hard either. So if you have a question at the bottom of the videos, other than the live chats, leave your questions there. Or if anything, look in the description if there's an email to where you could shoot me an email or whoever you're looking at if you have a question about what they said or something. Like that's the best way of going about it. It's not always going to be that easy, but it's not hard either. You just need a little patience, especially with me. I'm very slow. Plain air popcorn, no salt, no butter, nada. Ooh. So back to popcorn. And Chris, make sure to send me your mailing address. And he's talking
Uh,
about a video that I created about the spam. If there's a flavor in there that you want, let me know. I'll send that along with some extra goodies. Uh, I said I'm going to send some spam, and I will send some spam along with some other stuff. Folks, if you haven't already, check out Chris right here. He probably hasn't had some videos in a while, but he is grading some cards. So if you are in Canada, because there are people here from Canada, if you know people, if you aren't yourself, know people who need some cards graded, some other things, reach out to Chris. Might as well work with somebody in your own area rather than across the border. A little bit more expensive. So I love popcorn. I love the movies, not because of the movies, but because of popcorn, hot dogs, and then Georgia peach. I think Nestle tea is what it's called. Like, and then I'm like, okay, now we watch the
and we can
movie.
watch a movie. I got
Yeah,
you.
but when I get popcorn, I'm like butter, layer it and butter. Like one popcorn, butter. Like
So
I want it layered
when I worked
because
at the movie theater,
oh,
I
tell
gotta
us
tell
more.
you this. I
Tell me
worked at a
more.
movie theater when I was
Oh,
like
don't
18.
ruin butter for me, Jimmy.
No, 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 no. I'm not
Okay,
gonna ruin anything. I'm gonna just say, you know what's a thing? I think I've said this before. A lot of people when they get their
thank you, Jennifer.
popcorn, they ask for jalapenos with it, and they eat their popcorn with jalapenos. And so because so many people ordered it,
You
they said,
tried
"Can I
it?
get some jalapenos on the side with my popcorn?" And then they would put it in their popcorn. It's actually pretty dang good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
so when I go to the
that's
movie theater, it's like, "Can I get some jalapenos on the side?"
I don't like that after the shutdown, they don't have that anymore. Especially when it comes to Costco. We don't have onions and they don't have jalapenos. You used to just twist that little thing and it would fall over.
Yeah, yeah.
For the longest time, I was like, "Oh, this is nasty. Who eats onions?" And then I tried it, and I was like, "Oh, this is amazing. I see why." And then when I started liking it, I was like, "World shut down. Costco, you first. Get rid of the onions because Sonny wants them." It's like, man, me wants some the spam, son. Hey, Chris, do you make musubis over there? Have any of you ever had musubi? I'm gonna type it in. Musubi. Have any of y'all ever had some musubis? I love musubis.
Nope.
Bill said it seems like international shipping is taking forever lately. That means I get to take my time sending the spam to Chris here. So thanks, Bill. I'm always
You know,
find the positive things in life.
with pirate ships, what's it called? Did they call it simple export? They actually change it to where you ship it to their processing center before it goes, kind of like the global shipping program. It doesn't go directly anymore. You send it to a pirate ship or a facility to be processed before it goes to the next country.
Yo, is that
That's been
true?
that way for a while too.
Yo, is that true? No spam shipping to Canada? What's up? How are you, ATL? Jasmine and Derek? So there's some clickbaits that I'm like, I know it's clickbait, and then there's some clickbait that's like, please don't let it be true.
Yeah.
And the ATL flipper, Jasmine and Derek. Derek was
Oh
on the
yeah.
thumbnail, and it said, "We're
I haven't
splitting up
watched it yet.
or we're breaking up." And to me, that crushed me for a second. I'm like I had both of you on the show. Like we're a little closer than what we were before. I think you're amazing people. I think you have a very fun, loving family. It's good to see that you support one another and just are true. Like you could see it as genuine. And when I saw that thumbnail, I was like, even just joking around, I'm like, please, like please. And then I'm glad they didn't follow through with like holding it off to the end about a minute in, and I'm like, oh thank God. Like it's not true. Like, come on, man. Like stop, don't play with my emotions like that. Smokey. Don't share spam, Sonny. You might get arrested. No one knows what's in it.
No one actually knows what's in that stuff.
You know that to stay on. Do you know any facts about spam, Jimmy?
That it's
Facts?
disgusting.
Any?
I know that.
Huh?
Fact. Fact. It's disgusting. It's slimy.
Do you not cook it?
I've never. I last time I had spam, I don't remember. That stuff's gross, in my
I'm gonna kick Jimmy
opinion.
off right now. Sorry, folks. Hold on, stand by. I love spam, folks. I love
What?
spam. I pan fry it. Like I don't put any oil in it because it has all the oil in the world that you need. What where the oil comes from, I don't know. Almond oil. You make it up as we go. But I like to fry it up a little bit, throw some hot sauce and mustard, throw it in a flour tortilla. I don't do corn tortilla very much, and then nom 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 nom. I'll eat it. I'll eat like a whole can of it by myself. But what I was looking into spam the other day because I created a video and shared it, and people were like, I shared it on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and there was quite a bit of people that were leaving messages like, "I won't sell." You could either sell it or eat it. And I was asking people which one will you do because it's a reseller channel for the most part. And people were like, I would not eat it, I would resell it. And some of the spam goes for a pretty good buck if you could get it for the right price. But looking more into it in the documentaries, there's not much information about spam. And there's only two people from when it first originated that are still alive to this day that people still don't know what spam stands for. People have theories of what SPAM means, but there's no actual like confirmation from anybody from spam. No history whatsoever.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh,
Mystery
wow.
meat indeed. Just kidding, party. You don't have to send spam. Just showing some love. I appreciate that, Chris. But I
Gail
still
just
want
said
to.
that. Don't send it. I think that's what they were talking about. Gail said, "Don't send it. It's illegal."
Yeah. What if I say it's? What could I say? It's something else. Do they sell? Do that's a good question. Do they sell spam in Canada? Hmm.
I don't know. I've never been to Canada.
And if you're not in the States like Australia earlier, do they have spam in Australia?
They
McDonald's.
can have it if they want it. They can have it all if they want.
No, not all of it. I need some. Um, what was I gonna say?
I don't.
So speaking of spam and flavors, I know McDonald's is different depending on where you go. They got different like specialty type McDonald cater to like say Korea, the
Hmm.
States. I wonder, does Canada have McDonald's? I'm gonna say yes. It's pretty huge. I think they're big enough to be in Canada.
It's the best.
He's answered this before. I've asked him. I just remember it being fries, gravy, and something else.
Cheese curds.
Cheese curds. Mm.
Yeah, you're. I'm gonna tell you, you're far enough behind that I know all about that stuff now. Do you?
Hold on, we got Merch on. This is the new name. What's up, Merch on? Thanks for coming in. Konka sausage is where it's at. From Alabama, Bama.
Can be ordered online. Hmm.
A lot of things can be ordered online. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing Chris's for link. Thank you very much. Gail, speaking of email, can you send one out with your whatnot sell date? When I do, Gail, when I do set up my whatnot auction, I want to have one because people have been asking for it enough to where it's like, okay, there's enough people. I think it'll be worth it. And I've always been an underdog and a second chance type person to where it's like I just don't give up right away on things because I wouldn't want to be given up on that easily. So that's how I see things. So whatnot is one of those where it's like on a borderline. Do I keep trying it? Do I not? Jimmy, will you try whatnot again?
No, not
It's a
anytime. Not in my mind right now. No, I won't. I don't have any reason to right now. Anytime soon. I won't rule it out permanently, but not anytime soon.
hey, heavy welcome to Sal Mercado. Sal's buddy Cameron's gonna be on Danny May Adventures live. I can't wait to see that. I saw that and I was just like, he's going on live with her, but it's because of the time frame. I've tried to get Cameron and Sal to come on mine, but because of their schedules in life,
The shit.
they haven't made it on mine. But I'm glad to see that they're on other shows. Sonny, can you spell heart attack?
I think they're
Sure.
talking about the
Uh,
cheese curds and stuff.
Heart, ATT, ack.
Uh,
That reminds me of Friday. Versace. You can't even spell Versace.
You can F-O Sachi.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Sashi. Versace.
That's a great scene.
Oh, that's old school right there, Elaine. Popcorn and Red Hots. I haven't had Red Hots in forever, but there was another one after Red Hots, like I think in the 90s. I was into Red Hots, and then I got into the colored flavored ones. Mike and Ike's? Is it Mike and Ike's?
Mike's, yeah.
Yeah, I got into those. Whoo. And folks, for those of y'all that are younger than probably like 35, if there's any of y'all in here younger than 35, I remember like 25-cent bags of chips was 25-cent bags of chips. I clearly remember to this day when I threw a quarter on it on the counter and I'm like, man, I got me my 25-cent bags of chips. I'm balling. And they're like, hold on. And I'm like, hold on for what? And they're like, you
Hold
need
it
it's
now.
27 cents. I'm like, what do you mean? It's on the bag. It's 25 cents. They're like, no, there's taxes. I'm like, what's taxes? Like what the hell?
You know, yeah.
What the hell's going on here? Like I could count up to 25. I can't count to 27, but I know what 25 looks like on a package. This is just getting crazy now. Now that's where you spell heart attack. At the theater, pour the M&Ms in the
I don't know
popcorn.
if I can do that. I don't know. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Didn't get a lot of. Well, I mean, I guess you could just buy the M&Ms. You didn't have to order them. So that's probably a thing too. I've never heard of it though.
I like when they have it is the melted cheese, like the nacho cheese, and you pour it in the popcorn.
Hmm.
You got to have for a spoon or a fork with that though. It's gonna get
Yeah.
messy.
I'm trying to see where you're at in the chat. Let's see if you're any.
I'm slow, folks. I apologize. Rice with spam wrapped in seaweed paper. Nom 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 nom. What's up, Pinji? Out in Anaheim, California. Spam on sushi rice with seaweed. You're talking my language right there. I have a spam musubi once. Pretty damn good. Only once? So do they have it in Canada? Did I miss that answer? My mother-in-law makes some really nice musubis. I had it in a video when I was on in Twin Falls, Idaho, but my mother-in-law this time wrapped like the whole entire thing in seaweed, so it looks like a blank, like a black turd, pretty much, like very well shaped, organized on the plate, like a dozen of them.
Oh
At first,
man.
I said to myself like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, I can smell. Oh, it's musubi," because usually it's just like a strip in the center of the spam and rice, to where you get to see the spam and rice. That's usually like the signature look of it. But she ended up changing it up. Maybe she just wanted to get rid of the seaweed.
Interesting. I don't like seaweed, so
What ifs?
that's one of the main reasons I don't like sushi is the seaweed.
Bob said, "Going to talk to mommy. I'll be back." Once my daughter dance teacher in Vegas is from Hawaii. Ooh, I wonder if they did hula. Made it. We'd go to dance competitions. Oh man, that's one thing I really missed about Hawaii. They have this event called the Merry Monarch once a year, and you have all these hula dancers, male, women groups, and when they dance, it's so graceful. Like you could see the tradition, like from the tip of their toes up to like the decorations on their hair, like everything. Like just the vibes is like it's so powerful and moving. Like you just want more of it, and the competition is fierce. It's like perfectionist. The only perfectionist that I could compare that I've witnessed to that, when I used to be out in Korea, um, we used to train with the Rock Marines, and when they trained, they had bell cufflinks under their boot blouses, and whenever they would march and train, and one was off, like it was like it will single you out. And they used to have people turn their rifle around, they would hold it by the barrel and still follow through with the march. And if the barrel, like the end of the butt is on the opposite side, if it falls, man, they would get whipped so hard. And I was just like, wow, I'd never want to be in that situation. But they were like disciplined as hell. But the hula dancing was much more peaceful, graceful, and loving rather than getting whipped. Reseller rowboat, it stinks. Sonny be against the law. Okay. I'll send him a can. I wonder if I could just he could smell it.
Sound like a spam T-shirt. That'd be awesome.
I don't. Y'all want to see my? I wonder if I could do it on here. Maybe I can. Maybe I can't. Y'all want to see my graphic design that I made for my next T-shirt? Because I go out to the flea market and I've been ordering peanuts often. It's kind of become a thing. So running with it, I created a graphic design to make on the T-shirts, and of course, I'm going to order one for myself. But I like to get it approved first and then share it afterwards. So this is the first time I am doing it the other way. I'm going to see if I can do it. I'm on my tablet. It took a while last time on my computer to figure this out. I'm going to open up this right here. Let me see how I do this. Hopefully this works. Hopefully this isn't a problem. Share screen. Windows. Here we go.
So this is something that you designed?
Yeah, y'all see it?
Oh yeah. The hair, man. The hair. It matches your hair right now perfectly. Actually.
Yeah. So I created the design earlier today and I submitted it on Merch by Amazon.
That's
Oh,
cool.
this tablet was so much easier than the iMac. Yeah.
Uh-oh. I feel the switch coming on. No, that's cool. I like it. I love the way you do the money eyes is my favorite thing about
Yeah.
them. I know there's a lot to them, but I love that. It just looks it fits and it looks good.
Okay. Learning new stuff every day. Stop screen. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Vegas.
so that was my graphic design. So the money eyes isn't so much of like monetary like currency. It's more of like when you look around, there's value in everything. You know, you could use it for yourself, or you could see that it would benefit other people, you know, to be better for them. Not everything that you see just because it's available to you or you could afford it needs to be for you. You know, that's how I see things. It's just it's money, dollar signs, but it's to me it's more than just money signs.
Yeah.
That is very true, Crystal.
To me, it represents your ability to, because you're a picker. At the end of the day, we're pickers, right? And
Nose pickers.
it represents your ability to spot something that's maybe the average person won't be able to spot that's worth money. That's what it represents the most to me. Is like you are able to spot stuff that has some value. And I don't care. It's kind of something I've talked about. Like it's not something that just happens overnight. You don't just automatically know what to look for when you're doing this. It takes
No, you
some
don't.
time. Takes some experience.
You know, out of all the stuff I like, out of everything I look at when I source and things that I learn, even when I go out every weekend, just about, I don't see the same stuff, and it's not the same brands. There might be similar, but it could be like way off. It could be like this is worth money, this isn't. You know, but I look anyways. And one thing I've learned about reselling after all these years is that stuff that when I started wasn't worth much, I'm learning that they're actually worth something now. Like it's something's changed to
Yeah, the
where
market changes.
it's
Yeah.
become valuable. Like uh Navy. What's the Navy store? Um
The old one.
Old Navy, yeah. That one. Oh, you know that old Navy? Yeah. Old Navy, their pants and Bugle Boy. I love the Bugle Boy older style button up shirts, not button down, button up shirts, just short sleeve. Usually I find them with the pocket, but regardless if they're funky looking, I often sell them for around $40, and it takes about a month to sell. And people sell them like for $15, $9. But I've been able to hold on to everyone for about a month or two and sell them for around $40. With Old Navy pants, if they're cargo pants, more of like a quality, like military style pant, like it's almost like a parachute feeling. If you've ever touched a parachute or military, like army uniforms to this day, even Marine uniforms and Air Force uniforms, like they have that pajama comfy feel, but it's quality. If you find cargo pants like that, it doesn't have to be digital. It could be all brown or tan or beige. Those are usually worth some money. I sold one for like $120, Old Navy surplus pants.
Hmm.
So it's kind of cool that things are
Yeah,
working out even better than what it was when I started.
it's just the $7.
Go said I was kidding, shipping it, but it's true, no shipping. Okay, I probably still I'll send him something. I gotta send Chris something. I'm a guy of my word. I don't. My wife says I'm a kid, so I'm not gonna say I'm a man. If I say I'm a man, that's a lot of responsibility. So I'll stay a kid. My husband says if you're Mexican and eat Jack in the Box tacos, you aren't really Mexican. Ha! They don't serve that over here in Vegas anymore. But I did like them. Ooh, shoulder pork in the SMP.
S&P.
Salt and pepper? Is that salt and pepper? Definitely grew on spam. I knew I liked you, Miss Lachey. You're good peeps. And always keeps it real. If you're drunk, you do, Cheryl. My mom used to fry spam all the time for us as kids. All right, I think I'm behind even more. It saved lots of lives. Yeah. Ooh, this is one. What about you, Jimmy? Corned beef, corned beef hash.
No.
No, God, killing me, Smalls.
No, 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 no.
Justin, I'm in the kitchen. My computer wasn't letting me log on. It's probably done now, which is sad because I wanted to make some decals. I've had who was it? Somebody messaged her like, "Hey, not really in the hats, or no, not in the t-shirts. Can you make some like decals?" And I've been wanting to make decals, but I don't think this tablet I could connect it the silhouette like I want to cut the vinyl. So I may have to just reach out to somebody here in Vegas and get some made. Potato tacos are the bomb, but no corn,
I
canned
don't
corn.
like corned beef. Don't like it. I try everything. I've tried it multiple times because it looks good. It's one of my things. Like stuff looks good, and then I try it. It's not.
They
I don't
sell
like
spam at Walmart in Canada. Cool beans.
the food.
Y'all remember the weird color ketchup? I remember what was that girl's name from 90210? It was she got married and got divorced like they all do, most celebrities. But they ended up making some like unique ketchup and mustard type flavors. That's the only thing I remember. That's probably like 8 years ago now. Was her name Kelly? I don't remember. No, it wasn't Kelly. Interesting language on Whatnot. uh, one thing from Whatnot, it was that I picked up really quick. And you know people who sell on Whatnot because they'll say the front and back hit.
The hit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it got the front hit, no back hit. And it was like, what are you talking like? Why y'all so violent on Whatnot? Why y'all hitting stuff?
Tim is here over the years. What's up, Tim?
Yeah, we got Tim in the house? Yeah,
Just
I'm really
dropped it.
behind. What's up, Josh?
Someone asked me if I have any. What they ask?
How was it brought up?
Sideshow, Hot Toys. I don't have any of that kind of stuff.
What's up, Lynn Glenn? Cute Peanut, appreciate it. Yeah, I am behind, huh? Pedal on Reseller Rowboat.
Paddle on.
I've been doing
Oh,
some
you're
rowing
catching
at the
up.
gym.
You're catching up right there, buddy.
I'm catching up.
Tori
Ooh.
Spelling.
Tori Spelling. Yeah, that's who it was. Yes. I learned the difference
Mom,
between
mom knows best. Mom knows treasure. Sorry, not mom's the best.
Mom Knows Treasures. That's going to be
MKT.
Yvonne. That's Yvonne right there. Awesome
Yvonne?
peeps. Yeah, Yvonne. Cheryl said, I've learned difference between button up and button down shirts. Now, have you, Jimmy and those in the chat, have you ever come across button down shirts where you don't see the buttons for the button down?
Or like there's snaps? No, I never have. I've seen snaps. I've seen the pearl snaps.
Schnaps. SCH naps. So I've come across button downs. The reason why I asked that, folks, because sometimes you see something, you're like, oh man, I wish this was button down. Sometimes the button down is incognito to where it's covered on the top side, but there is a slit on the bottom side. So always don't run your fingers under things like I did in the Helly Hansen jacket that I found recently on my solo thrift. I reached in the pocket and pulled out. If you've seen the video, comment what I pulled out. It was in my hand. It was disgusting. And it was dirty. So what you want to do when you check apparel, if you're into apparel, anything with pockets, don't reach into the pockets like I did. Even as a veteran, we still screw up at times. You want to pancake whatever it is, run your hands down, try to feel for anything, and if there's anything in there like a security guard in pockets, you're gonna just rub that sucker up until it comes out the pocket. Or be very careful, have some gloves or napkins or something. But I've come across quite a bit of button down shirts that are like incognito button down shirts.
Rosie said it was a flosser. I mean, Crystal.
What's that?
Crystal said it was a flosser.
It was a flosser.
That's not good.
It was gross. I was like, like I'm trying to like get it. I'm like doing the magic fingers, like, and it wasn't coming off. So it was like, ugh. It was gross.
Oh, that's so gross.
I do carry hand sanitizer with me all the time, folks.
Oh, that's terrible.
What's up, Funk? Welcome in. Welcome in. I grew up on Spam, drowned it in mustard. Yes, just like bologna.
Oh, what's up, Donna?
Jimmy is just the meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Not though. I just don't like that stuff. I mean, I love all kinds of food.
Hey, did you see Tim's video?
Which one?
His baptismal video?
No.
You know what? Let me see if I can find it. Now that I'm learning this, what was it on TikTok? Hold on, folks, because this was glorious right here.
He's laughing. He's.
Hold on,
I
folks.
did not see it. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know it was out there.
Do I gotta log in? Wait, isn't it over the years? I need to find this. Hold on, folks. I need to show you this. When I watched this overs and overs, and I'm like, I felt like I was getting baptized.
Well, how long ago was this?
I seen it recently. Whoa. Steve Harvey, chill out. Oh, over the years collecting. All right.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a lot of platforms.
Why is it not? Hold on, let me see. Maybe I gotta log in. Hold on, folks. I want to show you this. This. Oh my God, password. I gotta show you this. Oh, I think I got my password right. Ooh, that's rare.
What's up, Andy? Andy, so meta.
We got Andy in the house. What's up, Andy? Oh, all right, folks. Hold on here. Hold on. I think I got it. Are y'all ready for this? If not, either way, I'm gonna share this. Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's not it. All right, let me get back into this.
Share, share, folks.
Here we go. All right.
Stranger.
Get it.
Gotta watch it again, folks. We've all just been baptized.
It's majestic.
One more time.
Stranger.
Man, that is so glorious to me. Like when I saw that, I was just like, man, I've been saved for real. And I was looking at the beard. Folks, mind you, I didn't look at the profile photo or the username, and I was like, man, that looks like my boy Tim. And then I look over at the profile photo and username, I was like, that is my boy Tim. Like that is him. I thought I watched it yesterday and I watched it today like several times. I was like, something about it, like I'm just like I'm into it. It was pretty awesome. You're the man, Tim.
How
Love you,
many
dude.
people were around you that you soaked with that beard just going? Like, how many people did you drench?
It was
by doing that?
steamy, man. Like it was like the vapors or the mist is coming up, and he's like spraying you. And at first, it was like I thought like long hair. You know, usually it's the long hair that like women do, and then it was just like, wait, that's a dude. Like that is a manly dude. Like I gotta raise my bar, man. I'm nowhere near that type of man. But I'm glad I know somebody who is Tim over the years. Also, folks, Tim over the years. Um, stand by, Jimmy. Take it away. I'll be back in a few minutes because I got something from Tim that I haven't opened. I'll open it here.
All right.
All right. Take it away.
Oh, I gotta take it away. I wonder what Tim sent him. What do you guys think Tim sent him? Oh, I don't know. He's like an orca flipping a sea lion in the air. Hey, the way he came up with that hair, like I could never do that ever again. What's a, tell a joke. I don't. You know what's funny? When it's time to tell a joke, I can never think of a good one. Donna, hey, everybody, shout out to Puffle65 Donna. She bought a bunch of stuff off of my eBay store. I appreciate it. That's something I actually want to talk about. Like, guys, the holiday season's coming up soon. Shop on eBay. Go to other people that you know. Go to their stores and support your fellow resellers and help them out and shop on eBay or whatever platforms they sell on. So I appreciate that, Donna, and yeah, it inspired me to think about doing that. Like this holiday season, I'm gonna shop more on people that I know in the community. I'm gonna shop on their stores. See, look, I'm telling a story, Angel. Sonny has a box that he had to go get.
You know what? You know what's funny, folks? I was looking for this box. I was like, where the hell is this box at? Like I just seen it.
He sent you a video of the baptism. That's what he sent you.
Folks, you know where this box is at? Look at this. Let me put this down. Guess what I was using to hold this up? It was the box. Oh man, let me try to get this. Here we go. I was using the box that I was looking for to have it up higher. This is probably actually better here. So I got this from Tim over the years. He has auctions on his YouTube channel. When I say if you want to learn about glass, like beautiful, exquisite, glorious, as is beard in the water, glass, like this stuff is beautiful. He educates you about it. It's good to listen to, especially if you're out as a researcher trying to find this stuff as well. Great show, educational, and also good deals. So with this, I ordered this from him.
Yeah, Tim, stop playing with your beard, dude.
No, keep playing with your beard.
You're gonna go
Dudes dig it too. Really amazing packaging. It's one thing I love about Tim. One of the many things I love about Tim. Packaging is always on point. I've heard stories mentioned about him and his packaging that
Oh
people
yeah, his
literally.
bubble wrap. His bubble wrap game. He turns a piece of glass into a basketball. You could play a full NBA game with a piece of glass that he bubble wrapped. That's not even a joke.
Bubble wrap, like he stuffs it well. I've heard stories that people would throw it off buildings to see if it would break and nothing. Not that I'm recommending you do that. It could be folklore or it
Remember
could
back
be
in the
true
day,
lore.
like in science class, you had to build something and put an egg in it and drop it off a ladder to see if it would break.
I,
Tim
I
won that every year.
I got some free crossword puzzles. I love them. I would always wait to do them after it's been out for 2 weeks, so that way I get the cheats from the following paper, and then look smart when I fill them in next to my cousin. Life hacks.
There it is, right there.
Here it is.
That is no joke, right there. You could. That isn't the shape of a basketball, but you could play frisbee with that, and you won't have to worry.
There's that. One thing I always try to do, I try to save as much as I can to reuse for myself. And this is that good bubble wrap. He has some amazing stuff. I should give him a follow. If somebody could share Tim's link down here.
I could. I think I could. Which link? I got him right here. I'm sure someone's gonna beat me to it, but I got it
Get
over
closer.
the years. Right there. There's Tim's link right there.
Even this is taped up. Look at this. This is beautiful.
Oh, I should have wrote
That is beautiful.
Tim's channel, and then
It's like a satin blue, really nice color. Has some art on the inside, like hand painted. I like this. And yes, I did buy this. I just thought it was exquisite and I had to have it. So it's really nice. Really, really
Where did-
nice.
where did I see that before?
Probably in a museum.
I think I saw it. Were you? Tim packed that on the Tuesday live. I bet you. That's where I saw it.
Probably. Probably.
Tim, did you pack that on the Tuesday live?
Yep, more dress shirts.
I think that's where I saw it because I've seen that before.
Crystal, yes, from earlier.
He said I sure did. I knew I seen it.
He's like, I've seen that before.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second now. I know I've seen that piece of glass before.
Good memory there, man. Meow. Allergic to cats? Anybody allergic to cats?
It's called a lace bowl.
Lace bowl. Because you. Oh, is that what that is on the inside? No, didn't work. It's laced. It's like an arc of flipping a seal line in the air. Don't die, Tim. We need you, broski. We need more people like you. At first, I thought I had. Yvonne said, first I had a live salmon, like a bear. That must be from the from the water. Did you get a Sasquatch sponsorship? That's funny.
Oh man.
Jimmy, how long have you been on eBay? And if any of you are on eBay or whatever platform you use, please share that answer.
It's funny, I was thinking about that today. So I've been on I joined eBay and started selling in the month of July, and it was 4 years ago. So it's been 4 years and a couple months that I've been selling on eBay, and I've been full time for over 3.5 years of that. So
My eBay account might show like a longer time frame only because I was ordering stuff on eBay. I didn't know
Yeah.
where stuff was coming from. I was just a shopper. But when I started selling, was I looked at my videos actually today, and it's from 2017, February 2nd, I believe, 2017. So 5 years, pretty much,
Yep.
pretty cool. But I just started full time. I think a year now. I think it's close to a full year of
Yeah,
reselling
that's
full
crazy.
time.
Going
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, really fast. Like the past few weeks have been like a blink of an eye. Is like 2 days later. It's like, oh, is it Thursday? We got to do a live. Like I on Wednesday, I'm like, oh man, I got to put the thumbnail up. I got to share this. Not that I got to do it, is that I want to do it. But time has been flying by fast, and things are going a lot smoother. Listing things. You coming back, Jimmy, and for those who were out at the 127, like Tim as well. Um, have you caught up on your listings, or still working through
I
your
mean,
finds?
my I'm behind, but not too bad. I mean, I actually prefer to have a death pile. I kind of did a joking video about how don't let it get out. I get more worried if I don't have stuff to list, right?
Mm.
And I don't worry a lot even then, but like when I don't have a lot that I need to list, I'm like, oh, what's going on? Like, I don't know if I have enough to keep up with the amount that I list? Because I list a lot. I list a lot of items, and I sell a lot of items. Um, so I need to have that pile of stuff ready to list the way I feel. So I'm behind, but I don't feel too bad about
Happy Kitty Africana says, "Stop
it.
playing."
I told him to stop playing with his beard.
I can't. I could grow this, folks, but I only grow so much to hide my second and third chin. That's the
Yes,
only reason why I have this.
mine
And
doesn't do a very good job of
when it gets too long, I honestly don't like it. I just like it short enough to be like, okay, he's an adult. He's not a kid. Because I get people that test me a lot, like, oh, you're just a kid. You're just out of high school. I'm like, well, yeah, like back in '99. Coming through
it.
here.
Thanks for agreeing to buy all my inventory.
I would like a beard, but a full beard. But then it'll be a lot of maintenance. A beard has to be a lot of maintenance.
I don't.
Correctly
I've
used, the beard.
tried, and I can't get past the itchy phase. Every time I get to the really itchy phase, I'm like,
That was the itchy face for me, was letting my hair grow out. Like it looked
hmm,
for a few months like, what's going on with your hair? Like my hair was saying I needed a haircut. But then once I got it to get past my ear just a little bit, then it was like, okay, now it's looking better. You need to go outside, Tip? Okay, we'll go outside. Oh crap, it's over 2 hours. And I'm sure Jimmy got some work to do.
yeah, I got like 14 to ship.
Whoa,
But that,
14 is a lot of orders. And this little guy right here, Tip,
what's
is
up, Tip? That's my buddy Tip right there.
he's jumping on me, so he needs to go for his night walk. Yeah, he's about to go to groomers on the 5th. He's getting a little fuzzball. He said, you remember Jimmy? Remember Jimmy?
What's up, buddy? He's like, "Huh?" He's like, you said we're going outside. What's going on here?
Folks, wow, I am way behind in the chat, but
Yeah,
I
there's a couple questions. Merch
okay,
on.
answer them.
Yes, I definitely order USPS boxes for free for priority mail if it'll fit in there and it fits well. I will definitely order those. And then there was another question up there too. So yeah, it's definitely one of the first things you should learn. I missed the other question. But one of the first things you learn is it's a good idea to have those on hand, and don't make the mistake of sending a first class label on a priority mailbox.
Yes, folks. Shipping is not hard, but don't look at shipping like, I just seen this in a Facebook page the other day. Somebody was like, "Oh, I got a priority order that they labeled. They marked it as priority to ship it that way." And then they saw that once they were packing stuff, it was actually for first class that they could send it as, and they were trying to see how to go about it to send it first class rather than priority to so-called save money. One of my pet peeves as a reseller is that you do not try to bank on shipping. You make the shipping as reasonable as possible. I believe that helps separate you from other people who have the same item. And even if they have like a $12 shipping cost for like a 2 ounce item identical to yours, and yours is worth more, your items is worth more than the other person's, I feel like people look at that, in my opinion, my theory is that they see that your shipping cost is reasonable, fair compared to the overpriced shipping for lower item cost, that they would rather go with you. I've had a lot of my orders that I look at like who else is on here, because when you're looking up comps, you want to know what the competition is like. That's all part of the learning process. So part of it, one of my biggest things is have a fair shipping cost. Do not bank on shipping costs. If for some reason you end up making $1 or two, you don't have to mention it to the customer. But say if the shipping cost is like $10 or more, I'm the type of person and have many a times are like, you know what, I'm going to refund that person, but I wait until their order is received and give it a few days, because sometimes what may happen is that that person receives their order, and then all of a sudden you're in between, then you're like, hey, here's a discount or a refund for his shipping, but then you can't refund them again when they want to return an item because you've already did that. It's one of those things on eBay I wish they could kind of sort out, which is has taught me you wait until they receive the item, give it a few days, um, and then say, hey, you actually overpaid on shipping, I wanted to refund you. And that helps. That also tells that customer like, hey, this person, man or woman, is a very reasonable person, and they keep that in the back of their head, their subconscious, and would want to buy from you again and follow you. That's another thing that I've done with private messages. When people message me and they say, hey, they like their items, sometimes they don't leave the feedback, they'll private message me. I'll say, hey, thank you very much, just save my store, add it to your favorites amongst the other amazing resellers. I always try to look at reselling on eBay more than anything, is how I'm reflecting back towards other resellers, because it is a community, it's not you by yourself. So I do little things like that, and I think I make a little difference in the customer communication. Try to be as prompt as possible, answer their questions, even if it's annoying. Sometimes it's for the best, but sometimes you just got to block some people.
Yeah, yeah. It, yep. Customer service.
Yeah, it's big. Just got to imagine how you want to be treated. Really, that's as cliche as that sounds. That's how it is.
Here comes Sonia.
All right, we're out of here, folks. Thank you all for coming in. I hope you smash the thumbs up button. Stay tuned for an auction that we're gonna run. I'm gonna figure it out for some hats, some t-shirts. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Jimmy. Check out my friends here in the chat if they have reseller channels that you know they do that I mentioned. Give them a follow. Keep doing what you're doing. Believe in yourself. Believe in others. Have a good attitude. Don't dwell on what isn't working. Look at what all you've done. Give yourself a pat on the back. Wake up tomorrow. Do it all over again. So thanks for watching, folks. Take it easy. Smell y'all later.